One of the most shocking discoveries I made during my period of awakening is that all the things that I had been pursuing my entire life, but which had eluded me every step of the way, all of these things are achievable through mastery of the mind. And of course that explains why I wasn't able to achieve those things, because I was chasing them or pursuing them in outward manners. I was trying to find the right job to make me happy. I was trying to find the right circumstances to make me happy. I was trying to find the right configuration of friends and hobbies and possessions that would bring me inner peace. And of course, nothing I tried, achieved, or performed actually got me there. By mastering the mind, I was able to achieve and obtain all of those treasures. And it almost feels like a bit of a cheat in some ways. Now, what does it mean to master the mind? Well, if you observe yourself, and if you observe your thoughts for even a small amount of time, you may come to a shocking conclusion. The mind has a mind of its own. Another way to put it, which I'm fond of, is to say that the mind is either a faithful servant or a cruel master. If you've ever found yourself awake in the middle of the night, unable to sleep, your mind spinning in a circle, or maybe even delving into your past and rehashing old experiences, then you know firsthand what I'm talking about. If you are not the master of your mind, then your mind will master you. And then you will be a slave to knee-jerk reactions and all kinds of suffering. Because thoughts will come to you, and you will blindly accept them as being your own. And oftentimes those automatic knee-jerk thoughts are irrational, and they are counterproductive. So what happens when you start to observe the mind and you start to track its movements, and you start to also connect those movements to your own emotional state, is you realize that this is the source of your problems. Let me get more concrete and specific with you real quick here. There are, I would say, 3 types of thoughts or mental forms that lead to suffering. Expectations, assumptions, and opinions, or beliefs, if you will. As long as these 3 types of thoughts are automatic and conditioned rather than deliberate and unconditioned, then we are much more likely to lead miserable lives. So let me explain. Expectations are probably the biggest, most important one, because they determine whether outcomes in the real world are viewed as positive or negative. So the outcome itself is not really the source of your reaction. Your expectation of the outcome is the source of your reaction. Let me give you an example from my own life. A few years ago, I got into a fender bender, and when it came time to renew my auto insurance, I expected it to be a lot more expensive. When I actually went to renew my insurance, it turned out to be only a little bit more expensive, rather than a lot. It came in way under what I expected. So my reaction was positive. I was happy. I was expecting to pay $300 more a year in insurance, and I only ended up paying $100 more. But that was still $100 more than I was paying last year. So now flip that around and let's do a quick thought experiment. Let's say the same situation happens but I'm expecting to pay the same premium as last year because for whatever reason, I think I have a bonus or a free accident on my insurance because I'm such a good driver, which I'm not, clearly, because I wouldn't be getting into fender benders. But set that aside for a moment. If I expected my insurance to be costing me the same as last year and it ended up costing me $100 more, I would have been pissed. I would have been frustrated. I would have been disappointed. My reaction would have been negative. But because I was expecting to pay $300, $400 more a year and it only came into $100 more, I was happy. So you see how that works? It's your expectation that determines whether you are happy with the outcome or unhappy. So that's a big one. By changing your expectations or doing something even more radical like trying to have no expectations, trying to just accept things as they happen and to aim for your preferred outcome, but to let the chips fall where they may, then all of a sudden you're pretty powerful because events are not going to impact you the way they used to. But that's another story.